Hey, welcome to Tech Face On. We are live. I am Lee Wolf with White Dove Bird, and as always, Mr. Richie Bello is sitting next to me in a digital fashion. And today we have back on the show a special guest, Dr. Hasan, the founder and CEO of Matrickz. So all you game players and all you hackers out there better watch out. Before we get rolling on the show, just going to run a quick video from our sponsor, Shop Smart Autos, on our VIN retention report.
So we all know it's commonplace in the auto industry that customers will come and then they go. But why? Was it a better price? Did they go with a different make? Is it a sales training issue? Maybe it's a marketing problem. And if you knew why, could you take back a portion of that business? First things first, you need data. And Shop Smart Autos for dealers has your solution, the VIN Retention Report. Our VIN Retention Report can give you the inside scoop on VINs you held onto and the VINs you lost. But that's not all. What if you could know where the customers and your VINs ended up? For example, if Mrs. Smith purchased a vehicle from you 2 years ago and traded that vehicle in a mile away for the same make but a newer model, why didn't she come back to you? Now with that data, you can reach out. You can target her with a service deal that brings her back into your dealership and gives her the stellar experience she's looking for, while potentially flipping her back to your sales floor for a deal she never knew she could get. That's just one way our VIN Retention Report can help. So take 15 minutes with us today, and we'll show you how the power of data can increase your ROI with the Shop Smart Autos for Dealers VIN Retention Report. Set up your appointment today.
All right, so that's our VIN Retention Report from Shop Smart Autos for Dealers. So what does it really do for a dealership when you sit down on for a circle and you have your management and you have your staff, your sales there, and you find out how many vehicles did we sell? It really doesn't do a whole lot for you. I mean, it's a great thing to know you're doing well, your numbers are going up. But with the VIN Retention Report, you know by VIN, okay, not by registration, but by VIN number, the VINs that you held on to and the VINs that you lost. But the beautiful thing about it is you know where those VINs ended up. And then you can put together a plan for how to target those people and bring them back to your dealership. It's an incredible tool. I can't imagine. I always say the same thing, but I can't imagine any dealership or any agency that deals with dealerships not wanting to have that powerful tool. So today, and I said before that hackers and game players better watch out because we have Dr. Hasan back on the show. We're going to be talking about cybersecurity again. And I think we lost video there for a second on Dr. Hasan. Hopefully that'll bounce back. Can you still hear us, Doctor? Ooh, I don't know if we're having a connection problem.
He's coming back on.
Okay. Yeah, he'll probably bounce back in. But anyway, the thought process is artificial intelligence, where there's the positives and there's the negatives about artificial intelligence, right? Where we think about, is there going to be job loss? We think about all the tasks that can now be automated. But when it comes to cybersecurity, we wanted to pick Dr. Hasan's brain on how AI is helping cybersecurity and how it's also potentially making things a little less secure for businesses and how he's combating that. I'm sure he's going to bounce back into the show any second. We just had a little connection issue. So, Richie, what's your thought process on?
Well, let's talk about AI. First of all, a lot of business owners and a lot of people are saying the workforce, blah, blah, blah. Well, let me just put a take on that.
Right.
What it has done on the workforce. Now, colleges are using the AI tremendously, right? And what it's done for the workforce, okay, is one thing. It has created more productivity. Why? Because more focus.
Right.
More focus has brought the focus. So yeah, they're right. It might replace jobs, but the reality is it's not going to replace the jobs. What it's going to make your productivity scale. You are able to service more customers. You're able to capture more customers, right?
Right.
And frees up that human interaction where you can get more customer, increase your productivity, right? From what I've seen, right? The tech incubators around the country are actually saying, listen, this AI is really good because we've noticed in certain areas in the workforce has increased the productivity and the focus, Richie, the focus.
Right.
That's what it is. It's the focus because there's no notification. There's no, I don't know what I'm doing. There's tools out there now that actually shows you your workflow, and it's AI, and it has more and more focus and more structure.
Right.
And really, the AI that writes for you, what people are really using that is to get the idea and then rewrite it.
Exactly.
They're not using that to write. A lot of people like myself that's dyslexic, I don't use it to write and just post.
Right.
That you guys do, right? I don't use that tool for that. The wrong thing is to write them to just post. You got to really edit them and make them look nicer. But you have that idea instead of using that creative side so much where it takes you days to do it.
Oh, absolutely.
What does that mean? The productivity is better and the focus is, oh, I got to do 5 blogs for this client, right? Now you have to think, right? Now you have to be creative. So that's helping the workflow get better, the productivity increase, right? And the focus increase because you don't have that on your mind. It's out of your head. Here it is, boom. So that's my take on that.
Sure.
But the doctor is back. Thank God.
Yes.
Let's
yes.
ask
And
that question, Lee.
yeah. So when we had a little connection issue there, we were talking about, so artificial intelligence has come to town, right? We call it artificial intelligence. Obviously, we're in that machine learning stage until we hit the Terminator stage where it becomes self-aware and starts learning on its own and, taking over things. But as of right now, it's a machine learning situation. And the question that we were posing was how it's two-part. So how are you using artificial intelligence to help you with combating issues of security, but also how is artificial intelligence making it harder to stay secure?
Great question, Lee. Thank you so much for having me in the show. So, got to
welcome back.
Glad to be back. So it's a great question and it's a very important question. So we have this thing called AI, which is doing amazing things like Richie was talking about, the productivity increase. It's not only a writing tool, as Richie mentioned, it can do way more. It can write software. It can write, scripts. It can even write hacking models. Thing you can hack with. It can if you know how to. Obviously, these things are blocked, but you can actually tweak it. This is called prompt injection attack. So you can inject prompt, trick the LLM to give you something it's not supposed to give you, which is supposedly blocked. Now, that's the second part of your question. So the attackers are getting more and more powerful. So if you can do it if you can use it to make amazing things, like Richie mentioned, there's this other side. You can actually create attacks. Find out new types of attacks. Use it as a hacking tool. Now, coming back to the application of machine. The domain of cybersecurity is nothing new. It has been there for a long time. The typical uses are intrusion detection system is one. So if you have a network, your network have regular traffic. So if there is an anomaly, you discover some anomaly, some abnormality, there is this monitoring module, which is machine learning based, because with time, that module learns the pattern of your network. And whenever something abnormal is happening, it raises an alarm. Banks use it all the time for fraud detection. If there is an abnormal money transfer, let's say I'm doing a money transfer from Hong Kong an abnormal amount to some account in Africa, that's usually the fraud detection system raises a flag. So it learns the normal pattern of a person, of an account. So similarly, the network traffic is fed to the machine learning, the normal traffic, and the machine learning learns the pattern. And whenever there's an anomaly, it detects it. That's one use. The other uses are malware recognition. So you have malware in your computer. There's again a pattern. You use machine learning to recognize those. So these are the typical uses of machine learning in cybersecurity. Now, what's more important for everybody to understand, other than this fancy technical stuff, is the social engineering part of it. And what do I? You have a tool now that the scammers have dreamed of for a long time. There used to be, you make, pretend to be you're from your bank and you call someone and try and get information, right?
Right.
This thing just gotten much easier. It took impersonating someone, creating digital personas or the voice. It has become so easy. It happened in New York. There was this girl who got a call from her brother, and her brother was saying that, hey, you have to send me some money because I am in trouble, and so on, a story. She was about to send it, but somehow she didn't. Now, this was a fake call. Now, what I tell my audience is what you have to do now in order to protect yourself from such things. Within the family, you should have a passcode. If you hear some abnormal call, you got to use that passcode within you to verify if it's really your family, if it's really your brother, if it's really your sister, if it's really your mom, if it's really your wife.
Yeah. When I was a kid, my mother would always tell me, sometimes we would have adjoining hotel rooms if we went somewhere traveling. Mm-hmm. And she said, if someone knocks at your door and they don't say the word commando, well, that was our key word when I was a kid. If they don't say commando, don't open up that door, So, that makes perfect sense. You got to, that's, it's so simple, but it's brilliant.
Brilliant. You got to have it. You got to have it for phone calls, even for video.
Right.
So this is one crazy application of AI for doing fraudulent activities. And we will see new such unprecedented scenarios popping up in the near future that we didn't even think about a year ago. The other day, the CEO of Jensen Huang, he was holding a board, and he said, I have to be careful. This is a $10 billion worth of board. And one of these things is like a couple of Google's data center. It's such as the power. So the computation power is so massively increasing that all these new threats will be coming up so fast that you can't even imagine. So we have to, other than that part, another important thing is keep yourself aware. Awareness is the key. You have to be aware. Your employees will have to be aware. All business owners, you can go to a next door guy who can put your network firewall and all those. Don't depend on that guy. This is your business. Right. You have to make yourself aware. You have to educate yourself. You have to understand what are the threats. Right. Because nobody cares about your company more than you. That's number one. Nobody knows about your company better than you, other than yourself. So when you understand the vulnerabilities, the threats, the social parameters of attacks, then you will be able to understand where do I protect myself.
Right. Well, yes. And speaking of that, actually, when you were on the show last time, we were talking about the CDK hack and how it's connected to 15,000 dealerships, and hundreds of them were affected by it. And I believe it cost billions of dollars in revenue. It was a total nightmare for everyone. And actually, while we're on that topic, I just want to run a quick video actually that you offered up to us today. And just at the end of the video, the audience is going to notice that it says click on the link. Obviously, there's no link to click on right now, but at the bottom of the screen, you could see the link if you would like to visit. And here we go.
Is your dealership ready to be hacked? The internet criminal gangs are coming at you. They can get you if they find a weak spot in your network, or someone in your company clicking the wrong attachment, or even the front desk girl giving away some sensitive information. Hey, this is Dr. Hasan, the CEO of Matrickz, a cybersecurity consultancy that helps the big OEMs and the tier ones to solve their cybersecurity problems, including vehicle security. I have spent the last 20 years of my life dedicating to make the automotive industry safe and secure. My mission today is to make every automotive dealership safe and secured and to become your cybersecurity doctor. That's why I'm here today to offer you the cybersecurity team that the big OEMs and the tier ones rely upon. Did you know that the average loss per business in the US per year due to data breaches is $9.4 million? And about 80% of these hacker breaches are somehow related to insider sources. What if I told you with the profit that you make from one single car, you can have a comprehensive assessment about your business, the vulnerabilities that you have in your business, and how hackers can penetrate your business. I'm sure you've heard of the big dealership network hack in the recent time, and at an estimate, the total loss was about $5.25 billion, including the recovery. Let me ask you, what would be the cost of you not being able to operate for a day or a week or even a month to get your systems back in place? And what about your customers, their privacy and security? If a car is hacked, one can lose their lives. What about your customers' loyalty? If they lose the trust, they may never come back. Remember the cybersecurity mantra: hack yourself before the bad guys hack you. Now, today I'm going to offer you a comprehensive assessment, including all your vulnerabilities, penetration testing for the hackers to see how easy it is to break into your network, to hack your network, and the possible remedies. Remember, if you get hacked, the average loss is $10 million. I want you to find out your vulnerabilities before it's too late, before you say, I wish I knew what my vulnerabilities were. Why not take the advantage and reach out to where the big OEMs and the tier one automotive companies go to and get your assessment done just for $5,000. Click the link below now and get your assessment.
All right. So, Rich, I mean, for $5,000 to get a full assessment, I can't imagine if a dealership, or any business for that matter, but if a car dealership had to shut its doors for 3, 4, 5, 7, a couple of weeks because of a hack, the average from what we're hearing here is close to, what was it, $9
million.
Yeah, $1 million for a hack.
I'm glad that the doctor said something. The doctor said something that's key: awareness. So let's go back to history in the automotive sector 30 years ago. The owners did not make the managers aware of where their bottom line was, not what the expense was. They kept everything a secret. Well, a lot of stores were losing tremendous amount of profits. The training world came into it. The consulting world went into the automotive sector 30, 35 years ago. The first thing that happened was something called NBO, managed by objective. Once a month, you would have a meeting with the departments, and now It made everybody aware. It made the managers aware. It made the owners aware. They used to put in their financial statement a boat, a yacht, an airplane. It made them aware. All right. Awareness is key. So you had a new manager. There's something in the dealership called daily operating control, which is called the doc. Every podium in the car business started having this doc. Okay, whether it was manually or a journal through the office, here's your doc daily. I used to have a daily doc right at my desk. Awareness. It made me aware of where I was at. Why did this happen to CDK Global and the dealers? Awareness. Nobody was aware of what could happen.
Right.
When that word aware is key. When you're aware of your overweight, okay, now you find a solution to fix it. When you're aware that you have a drinking problem, now you find how to fix yourself. The problem that we as humans, we're not aware a lot of our surroundings. We're not aware of what actually is bad for us. So what the doctor brings to the table with this assessment is make yourself aware. When you're aware, you're always going to win. There's something called the salesman's blues, right? Well, there's no real such thing as that. You have to stick to basics always and take it from A, B, C. There's a lot of people that freely use that are not trainers. I have no idea how hard it is for you as a professional salesperson to be to the basics. I have no idea. So when you have a problem, you're making yourself aware of your surroundings. Some sales departments say, well, it's just the market. It's not true. You look at how they're selling it and they're very confident, but they're taking shortcuts equals short deals or no deals. Why? Because they're overwhelmed with traffic, especially when you land a lot of traffic in a dealership. That's when you start seeing that they forget about the basics. You need a lot of discipline for that. So what the doctor is taking it away from us. Mr. Dealer, you don't have to be aware. I'm going to be aware here. Do your assessment. That's awareness. And I thank you, doctor, for that word, because a lot of people don't know the power and how strong that word is. You can fix anything. It doesn't matter what it is, as long as you're aware of the situation. It's not knowing. Let me tell you something. Not knowing is the same thing as you being blind. The exact same thing.
Right.
And that's what the doctor is making us aware of everything. And he is giving us the knowledge. That's the other thing. Once you do this, Mr. Jones, you're going to get some training to make you more aware of what you got to look at. Mm-hmm. Right? So now he's giving you, Mr. Dealer, and you, Mr. Business Owner, the knowledge for you to win. Right? Where they say knowledge is power. The real truth is knowledge equals success. Mm-hmm. Knowledge equals success. So the doctor is giving this value of knowledge, of awareness. Just that alone, I'm a dealer. Says, wait a minute, he's making me aware of my situation. There's value if you read into it. Right? What we're doing for the automotive dealer space is tremendous. That awareness is key. And that's what's happening. And more than that, what is happening in the worldwide, everywhere, everybody's getting hacked. They're taking the AI tool, the hackers, and are making it more, you're getting hacked more. Mm-hmm. Okay, AI has brought tremendous value, but now you have your enemy looking into it and figuring out how he can come in. The doctor very well versed at that since AI came out, so he's got you protected. Because he was one, by the way, he was one of the first that did machine learnings a very long time ago. So he's got the experience with machine learning, the knowledge, right? Because when you start something, everybody fails. So now you start building it, just like when you have the AI tool and you say something, it doesn't know you yet until it starts learning. Well, that's what machine learning is. It starts learning what you're looking for, so then it spits it out faster. So,
Right.
doctor, engage a little bit. How long you've been doing this machine learning, which is very impressive, right? I know you've been doing it for quite some time. And now you have all those metrics and you combined it with this cybersecurity. That's the game changer.
Did it come through?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So this is a great question, Richie. So I started machine learning back in during my PhD. I was working on a probabilistic model, and the GPT model that came out was invented by the Google researchers in 2017, and the paper is called "Intention is all you need." Attention is all you need. So they created this probabilistic transformer model, and they published in a conference called NIPS, Neural Information Processing. Is the conference. It takes place every year in Vancouver. This is the flagship conference. All the machine learning scientists publish there. When I went to NIPS to publish my paper, that was back in 2011, and we were looking at different results from Google, from Harvard, MIT, and those results were kind of okay, but sometimes it was making some crazy things. We laughed about it, but we're moving in the direction. Within this 7 years, 6 years period, the jump, the advancement is just tremendous. What we have today and what we had back then. So that was my touch point in machine learning. This is what I did my PhD and worked in the cybersecurity at the same time, brought these two things together, and working in the automotive industry since 2005. So that's how the whole thing, that's my background. Does that answer your question, Richie?
Yes, it does. And that's very important. The other word you used was intent, right? Now let's take a deep breath back. Let's see something. Intent. You got to look at what the intent and why are these people why do these people want to hack you? Why? What is the intent? Well, there's a few things. Data, right? That's one intent. But why? Why do they want the data? Because they ship that data to the third world countries, and then they sell that data to them, and then the data is out worldwide, right? What does that do? What does that do? The financial district, forget about it. That's what you guys got to look at. It used to be there were these little hackers out there that would take a WordPress site and put a link in it, and then it would get traffic. They were selling traffic, so they would hit 1 million websites at night. Then by morning, they had 5 million, 10 million unique visitors, right? That was what they started to do. Now, it's more than that. Now it ain't about a hyperlink forwarding that URL to Viagra or all that kind of stuff. Now it's not about that. Now it's about this. Now it's about taking that data, but more importantly, that data doesn't even belong to us. That data belongs to the consumer. You're talking about the consumer data. That's a big problem.
Right.
Because that's what happened to CDK Global, the consumer data. Now you're looking at that data is across the pond the same day you got hacked.
Right. Right.
And that's what happens. You know, about a decade ago, there was a machine, right? I saw it with my eyes. You would take your debit card to pay, the people that you would give it to your waiter to pay, they would scan that and everything on there would come up. Your personal information. I never give my debit card or my credit card or any of my cards to the waiter. I always get up and go pay it where you run it. Why? Because I saw that with my eyes. They went like this, boop, 2 seconds, they're in the pocket, boom, as they're walking over there. Now they have all that information. That information goes out right away. That's big money because now you got all the financial information there. So it's very, very important. Digital retailing in the car business, there's stores that are actually having all this data public now. The customer goes in, log in. Let me tell you, login protection, all that. A hacker can get in there because he doesn't go through the motions. He knows where to go. And he is seeing your stuff. When you're keying in all your information, he's seeing everything. And he's recording everything, and you don't even know you're being watched. That's a very big thing. Why dealers that are doing digital retail should pay attention.
Yeah, absolutely.
CDK Global has a platform for digital retail. Bang. You know, right there, that should be protected.
Yeah.
Okay. And now you need to protect that consumer.
Yeah,
Totally.
it's
The
like the
doctor
wild.
mentioned a lot of things that are key. Intent.
So if I may add something to you, Richie, you mentioned a very good scenario. Your credit card, when you hold it, it's like from a couple of centimeters away, they have the right device. They can steal your credit card information. So you got to use a RFID protected thing. It can happen from your pocket. Now, besides data, there is another. It's actually comes down to data, but you know, one scenario is you steal the data and sell it in the black market. The other scenario is which was the case for CDK, that's ransomware. They encrypt your data, the whole system, and they have the key. You can't decrypt it. You can't do anything with this, and you're in problem. You have to either pay them millions of dollars, some cases billions, or you're in problem. So this is something that we're seeing so often these days, the ransomware attack.
Yeah.
Question to you, Mr. Dealer, what will you do if it happens to you? Have you ever thought of it? Are you aware of it? Do you have a plan? So it can happen to you. It can happen to anyone. What will you do? You got to think about it today.
Right. Yeah, it happened. It's like the Wild West out there. I mean, 7-8 years ago, I had a family member that was hacked through the Army. Our power grids are hacked. I get an email every 6 months, class action lawsuit. You might be involved because Sony got hacked, and I get my personal data was put out there. It's on a regular basis that I'm seeing these things. So let's say someone signs up, they want to do the assessment. What kind of ballpark time frame to get a full picture of someone's system and how it withstands?
We're talking about 30 to 45 days.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. So it's like processes that are learning and watching and seeing what kind of loopholes there are, that kind of situation.
Yes. So what we will do, we will audit their system. What do they have? Where are the vulnerabilities? We will perform a penetration test, which is actually, performing hacks. We'll try and see if your system is hackable or not. The mantra is hack yourself before anybody else hacks you. So we'll perform that. We'll also do an audit to see what is the delta for you to get certified. There are certain certifications which will actually increase your brand value, your customers' trust if you put that sticker. In some countries, this is required. In some cases, even in the United States, this kind of certifications are required.
Sure.
Especially if you're the financial data, so certifications are required. So we will tell you what are the gaps for you to get certified, and what are the vulnerabilities you have, what are your weak spots, and we'll also talk to your people to understand if there is a weak spot, and we'll bring awareness. And finally, we'll give them an awareness coaching, so that how to handle. I mean, simple things like the code example that I gave, or not clicking on a certain attachment. In my company, my employees are getting emails under my name that, hey, can you transfer this amount of money, or that kind of thing. And we do this awareness drill because a new intern who has no idea can actually, I'm getting something from my CEO. A lot of things can happen. So we need awareness, constant awareness.
Right. Absolutely. Well, what do you think there, Richie? You got anything else to...
Well, what I got to say is dealers, don't wait to lose this kind of money. I mean, there's so many dealers that lost tremendous amount with CDK Global. There's YouTube channels out there going over everything. You have a great opportunity not only to do an assessment, to work with somebody that is that good. He deals with the OEM sector. He deals with tier 1, clients. And we've been working with him, and I know him for quite some time. And I reached out and told him, listen, our industry is having a problem. Ever since CDK Global, that's when I started doing this. I would like you to come up with a solution. And I asked him, please help our industry. Bring your solution that you do so good with the OEMs and with tier 1. Let's do this. Bring it to the dealer space so they're protected and they're not in the air. Because one thing that people that know me know how much I love my industry. My whole life, since at a very young age, I've been in the industry. My whole life I've dedicated to help my industry out all the time. And I want to bring this to help my industry out. So, Mr. Dealer, you have peace of mind. Who needs to worry about, I'm going to lose millions of dollars because I got hacked, when we have to be focused like lasers between market conditions, between supply and demand, or consumer is on demand. Right now, we change from COVID to the consumers in demand. I already have a solution to generate leads to your website with our technology right in your website, so you start getting leads like you are a marketplace. And it's going to come from first party. So we're working on solutions to help our industry. That's the take I have on this.
Awesome. Well, Dr. Hasan, want to thank you, as always, for being here. You are a wealth of information, and definitely one of the more interesting topics for me. I love this stuff. So very thankful for having you here again. And links at the bottom of the screen. Sign up, get your assessment. What was the line? It's hack yourself before
the bad guys hack you.
Before the bad guys hack you. I would definitely go that route.
And thank you, Doctor, for the bottom of my heart, helping our industry out. I reached out, you put it together. Thank you for that.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having me.
Thank you. God bless. Bye-bye.
Good day.
God bless.